Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We are Gabe and Brianna of Sacred Twin Flame Union, and today we have a special recap for you of our time and experience in Sedona.
Yay!
Yeah, we attended recently like just this past weekend, as of the time of this filming, um, the second Twin Flames Universe workshop um, in Sedona, Arizona, where Jeff and Shaleia's story actually started. And we also witnessed and experienced the beautiful wedding of Charles and Oceana.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Yeah, it was very wonderful, and the very first HTFU wedding live in person. And that's Harmonious Twin Flame Union, for those of you who are new to the channel or new to the work of Twin Flames Universe. Yeah, we just wanted to share some of our insights and experiences from that, and experiences from Sedona overall, because there was a lot of healing this past weekend, not just in the workshop, but with our friends and family in the community as well.
Yeah, it was perfect. So there were 2 days of like workshopping, and then the final day was the church sermon led by Jeff and Shaleia, as well as the wedding. So I'm going to start with I did pull some cards first to just kind of ease us into the insights that we're sharing, and I feel like it's actually like a perfect like kind of descriptor for like each day. So like the first card I pulled was acceptance. I love this girl with like her beautiful hair. And this actually I feel like is a good word for the first day of like the Twin Flames Universe workshop, where Jeff led us through a meditation in which we felt our feelings, and he sort of affirmed like the work is very simple, it hasn't changed, like feel your feelings and allow yourself to feel however you're feeling, right? So for a lot of us, there was like, kind of social awkwardness, kind of like a little anxiety. I know I felt it first coming together, having not seen each other in a while. There's a little bit of that like tension. So he sort of helped us like ease out of that and to kind of feel our feelings there and to just move through like whatever came up. So it was just like total acceptance of how we're feeling in the moment and like what we were feeling. And it was really beautiful. It kind of all put us on sort of the same page and all on the same like level playing field. So we sort of cleared out that awkwardness on day one. So that was great.
I think like even beyond that, even like before the workshop started, and he spoke to this a little. Jeff spoke to this a little bit. Like we all had our journey to get to Sedona. Some some of us had a lot of inner work to do, a lot of financial work to do, and even on that first day, like we had our own challenges. Getting to Sedona. When I arrived there, I actually realized that I forgot my suit, and it felt like this big thing.
Yeah.
Of like,
that was crazy. We got to the Airbnb, we were unpacking. He's like, I forgot my suit. I was like, what?
And we
put so much effort into getting his suit. Like there was so much effort into getting it perfectly fitted, right colors, match my dress. Like it was a huge ordeal to even like assemble the suit and get it together, and it was just like hanging in the closet and we left it.
Right, yeah. It was like, like you mentioned, like we got it tailored. Like I even got online and went to this like specialty store that sold clothes for like androgynous, like male inspired stuff for people with like feminine body.
People who are transitioning.
Yeah, people who are transitioning, people who are non-binary. And I had the suit, like they sent one, I tried it on, it didn't fit, got a new one, had it tailored. There's a lot that went into this of like me manifesting the perfect suit for myself. And
I immediately was like, okay, this is obviously happening for a purpose.
Right.
So let's sit down and pull out some cards, and we kind of worked through it. A lot of emotions came up.
A lot of emotions.
It was like clear God was using that as like, it was clear like by the end of like the reading, we had healed some stuff. Like God wanted that suit for something else. There was a bigger purpose for that suit, which we're still kind of figuring out, right? Maybe like, our own wedding, probably, because like it's a really nice suit. It's a really nice suit. It's like top of the line. Like it's really nice.
Yeah, it's like all made in Italy, and it's all very nice.
It's perfectly tailored, perfectly fit. It's really nice.
A very beautiful suit.
So that's just the sense that I got after we kind of healed some stuff around it. What did you feel, like feeling forgotten, feeling abandoned?
Yeah, like I healed a lot of stuff of like you know, just like feeling like I wasn't present with myself, like, and like tried to like move myself faster than I was ready to go. And that's what I experienced a lot that morning because, you know, we had to get ready and like pack the car. And
early morning.
one of our friends in the community came with us. We like road trip to Sedona together. And, you know, for me, it was just like, get ready, get breakfast, get ready, get our dog ready to go to the boarding, you know, pet resort, and all these like things that I was like taking care of, and not really, I didn't take care of myself first, and I wasn't present with myself, and so that was a big thing.
And it was like forgiveness, you know, like it's okay.
Forgiving,
you made a mistake. It's okay.
Forgiving myself, and also like surrendering to like the journey that God wanted me to take.
Yeah.
To like,
because God makes no mistakes. Like this was done totally on
right.
purpose.
It wasn't even anything that like crossed my mind. It was like one of those things that's like I got ready, I felt everything was good. I even went back through the house before we left and like grabbed things. I grabbed my toiletries, like we had almost forgotten those. I was like, oh, I grabbed those. I'm glad I went back. You know?
Yeah.
And didn't look at the suit, didn't even think about the suit.
But as we kind of healed it, like God showed us more and more visions, like go to Target, go to JCPenney, go to these places and pick up the pieces. And it was clear as we kind of surrendered and just followed God. God had very clearly a path laid out, and it was very clear at the very end when you found what you were meant to wear. Right. So just backing up a little bit, while I was looking for my perfect suit, you know, I wanted this like gray suit, and that's like the vision that God gave me. It was like a gray suit with a vest, purple tie that matched your dress. And the actual suit that we have is like it's like black. It's like a standard tux. Because when I was ordering from the store, they had gray, but it wasn't in your size. It wasn't in my size. Like things they weren't lining up quite right. And I was like, well, I have to have a suit, so black, fine. Then it works. It's classic. I need a suit. And like I was like, okay, I just surrendered. I was like, all right, this is the suit that God wants me to have. And then we forgot it. But when we went to, we actually ended up going to Flagstaff, like late an hour or so outside of Sedona.
Yeah, and we went to Target, and they didn't quite have it. They did have a, you know, a nice shirt and tie that I ended up wearing on the first day, and that was nice. And then we went to Kohls, and they didn't quite have it. And then but it was like continuous surrender. Feel your feelings, surrender. God shows you the next step. Feel your feelings, surrender. God shows you the next step. And I was offered a chance to settle at Kohls. There was this moment where you were like, well, these are close enough. It might be okay. This kind of fits. And I was just like, I hate this. Like, I don't want this suit. It doesn't feel good for me. And like, I could have settled right there. We were close to closing time for a lot of places. Yeah, we're like, we got 40 minutes left. Like, should we just try one more place? Like, let's go to JCPenney. Yeah, and that's what, like, I was just like, all right, let's just try it. We have like, by the time we got there, they had like, what, 45 minutes, maybe 40 minutes left before they were gonna close. We like ran in, they were like, you have 20 minutes! We're like, okay! They're like, we're you know, like. We're closing! And, you know, we went over to the men's section, and I actually like found, like almost right off the bat, a gray vest that was perfect. It was the only one on the rack, and it fit perfect. And it's hard to find clothes that fit Gabe perfectly. Right, because I'm petite even in like women's sizes. It's hard to find good and clothes. Like especially in men's. We have to go where God guides us to, because otherwise it's just like we never find anything. And then I had to find like pants, and they were on the same rack. It was perfect. And then we had to find like a white shirt. And the white shirt. It was all there. And it was all there. It was all there. We got it done in like 20 minutes. Yeah, and like the people there were very understanding, very kind. Like even though we came in the last minute, they were very understanding, accepting, and you know wanted to give us discounts. It was really nice. It was a really friendly experience. Very friendly experience, and and they were like, congratulations on your friend's wedding. Like they felt that joy that we shared, like as we kind of experienced victory, you know. We were like, wow, we found it. This is amazing. We're like, praise God.
They're like, oh, what's the occasion? So our friends are getting married. They're like, congratulations. They're like,
Right.
why are we saying congratulations?
Right, and it was just like, you know, it felt very, very good, you know, to
Yeah.
like
It was
get
a
that. And
victory.
it was like the suit that I had originally envisioned. God gave me a way to have that.
God was like, see, like, I will never, what is it, like, lead you to water without a pitcher. I will never lead you down a path without giving you the resources that you need to complete. And we when we got to Sedona, we realized we didn't have a suit. We thought we were effed. We thought we were completely
I was like, am I not meant to go to the wedding?
Right, like, we're like, let's look at all options.
Sabotaging myself.
Am I going by myself?
Yeah.
Are you wearing jeans? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like, do I have to rewear something I wear to the workshop? Like, what was going to happen? And
How does this feel? How does that feel?
And it worked out
cards,
perfectly. And that was just like day one. Like
that was day one, right? Or that was right before the day one.
Right, that was the night before. And then
that was really perfect.
It was perfect, yeah. And then, you know, we went to the workshop, and like she said, he spoke to this very thing of like, you know, feeling your feelings, being with God, like taking your journey to like, you know, going all the way through, and
not judging like yourself for where you're at, just like simple, straightforward, like acceptance. This is how I feel, this is where I'm at with my twin flame, or this is where I'm at on my journey, and I just accept myself. I just accept it. It's okay. There's peace here.
Yeah, and there's always a way to you know, find peace and find the perfect solution. And I guess like moving beyond that, then the day of the workshop, we were actually presented with a similar thing that you know, Charles and Ocean had some issues with her shoes. Like we had to actually go to all the way to Phoenix.
The next
day.
Next day we traveled with our coaches Ray and Anastasia, and that was really healing. So we did so much healing in the car together.
Yeah.
We drove like 2 hours there and 2 hours back to get Ocean's wedding shoes.
And we went to 2 different malls that night too.
We went to like 5 different stores. But God showed me like the shoe and was like, it's just these. It's like, they were like $27 and like very simple, white heel, perfect.
And it was just like the process of like,
but it was the process,
following God and following like where you're guided, even if it seems like you have to go way out of your way, even if it seems like, you know, like what is the purpose of this, God, like, you know,
like, I don't think we would have gotten that time with Ray and Anastasia either if we hadn't done that.
It was a perfect time to spend like with our friends, with our coaches, and you know, a perfect time to like just show up for God, show up for love, and claim the perfect wedding for our friends. You know? Because
it was so nice to contribute too, because we didn't really get to volunteer too much like for the Sedona trip, so that was really nice to kind of swoop in and be like, I got you.
Like this was the work that God put before us. You know, we had to do the work of the day.
I knew I was going to do something for Sedona. I didn't know what, but it ended up being really personal. And really, I had the same shoe size as Ocean, so I was like trying on all the shoes and like showing her, do you like this? Do you like that? This comes in a different color. And, but it worked out. We got into the shoe.
And then like once we like did that, you know, like we showed up for that. We claimed like the wedding because it's for all of us. It wasn't just for them, it was for the whole community. And you know, like we were immediately rewarded with like the best sushi place like we've ever been to.
It was so good.
It was so good. Like it was
so
such
nice.
a rewarding experience. Like, we got to have a nice dinner. Also with Ray and Anastasia, and then we had a nice drive back that was very peaceful.
It was beautiful.
And you know, slept well that night.
Yes, slept very well. And then day 2 of the workshop, Shaleia actually mostly talked on day 2. It was beautiful. I feel like Jeff kind of set the ground for her to really speak and come forward on day 2. So Jeff sort of cleansed it out and like made the place real nice, made the space real nice. And day 2, Shaleia really opened up and shared about her journey. And she talked about how it was like 7.5 or 8 years ago, she came to Sedona in search of truth, in search of, you know, originally what she thought was just for her twin flame. But she ended up, you know, going to church and meeting her spiritual mentor in Sedona, who she talked about how her spiritual teacher had a dream that she was coming, and Shaleia was the person she was meant to pass on all of her spiritual knowledge to. if Shaleia decided to accept that. And I just like get chills in my heart talking about it because it's like so beautiful and like it's just so nice.
Yeah, and it kind of like what came to mind, like just as you were talking about that, was like kind of how when you read in like autobiography of a yogi about how like Yogananda's mentor, also Twin Flame, like ended up like meeting him and saying like he had that dream about him, like he like, and he had a dream of his
coming.
Yeah, and he also had a dream of his guru before he met him, and it was just like a very like beautiful experience, very like God guided experience that like that mentor actually gave Jeff and Shaleia the mirror exercise, which has led to this entire like movement, this like great
it's the core element of
the core
like the body of work.
Yeah, and it's all just from God. It's all like allowing us to expand.
And the second card I pulled was Explore, which I think is really nice because Shaleia just kind of kept taking us deeper into like her personal adventure. Years ago when she was here in Sedona, and she kind of something that really helped her was just knowing the truth that she's divine, and she would go to work accepting that about herself, and everything around her started to kind of change and shift. Like, I am divine. She started attracting higher quality men in her life. She started obviously magnetizing Jeff. Like it was a really beautiful time for her, and it was really nice to hear her share that.
Yeah, and that was really the core of day 2, and the core of the workshop is accepting your divinity, accepting that you are divine. Because you are a child of God. You are that feeling that God had.
Yeah.
And that's you. Like, you are a feeling that God had and created.
Yeah,
and it's very beautiful. And like, to accept your divinity is to see where you've been walking around not being feeling your divinity, not feeling like you can do anything. Believing that lie, and claiming your divinity is saying like, I can do anything that God puts in front of me. I can do anything that life presents. These challenges that I have are just to further take me deeper into my divinity, to further take me into love. And you're safe to do that. And I think that's what this really speaks to, is that we're all searching for ourselves, our true selves, our divine selves. And we all come to the work maybe looking for our twin flame, but we actually are coming here to find God.
Yeah, coming here to experience more God, and that's really the thing. And something that Jeff spoke to that really sung in my heart was like, when you start to accept this about yourself, when you start to accept that you're divine, you begin to have like a kind of like an identity crisis where you're like, wait a minute, this pattern that I was doing my whole life, it suddenly really doesn't fit with this new belief that I've accepted. I am divine. So it's like, okay, which is it? Am I divine or am I not divine? Well, obviously I'm divine. Okay, well, we got to work through this pattern and let go of these things that are no longer serving us. And that's kind of the journey, isn't it? That's kind of the process. So.
Right. And like, I've experienced that just even since the workshop, of like all of this stuff that's out of alignment with divinity, like feelings of worthlessness, feelings of like
a
inadequacy.
lot is coming to the surface a lot faster for us.
Yeah, I've had a lot of deep healing and a lot of like honestly like really good cleansing cries the last couple of days of just like upheaving all of this stuff. And every time I move through it, I feel so much better. And it's just all this stuff that I've been holding on to for maybe lifetimes, but definitely throughout this life, of like feeling like I wasn't worthy, or even adopting the what's in mainstream like Christianity of like, I'm a sinner, I'm not worthy. That feeling, all of that has been coming up to upheave.
Oh yeah, that's a lie.
It's definitely a lie, because you are divine, you are a child of God, and how could you be anything but perfect? How could you be anything but divine? And it's just very simple logic.
Yeah. And then the final card is You Are Not Alone. I think this is perfect representation of like day 3, which was the church service and then the wedding. And in the church service, like, we talked more in depth about what love really is and how love really plays out in our lives on a daily basis, and talked about how sometimes it's really not easy, sometimes it's really challenging, sometimes it's really hard, but anyone who has worked through their challenge to receive the reward, receive more love in their life, will tell you that it's totally worth it. And whatever challenge you have to go through to experience that more love in your life, like it's worth it. And Jeff and Shaleia talked about this a little bit too. Like sometimes they'll go to places where, oh my gosh, I'm so hurt here. This is a wound from childhood. This is a wound from a long time ago. I just feel so hurt here. I just really want love. I just really want to experience compassion and peace and patience here. And I'm going to give that to myself and know that I'm going to make it through to the other side. I'm going to be okay. And yeah, this is perfect. Like, you're not alone. And that healing in the sermon led beautifully to the wedding. Oh my God. I cried so much because it was my wedding too, you know? It was everybody's wedding. Like, it was like me going down the altar to, you know, my twin flame and my life of love and my perfect life happiness. Like, it was everybody was crying. It was so beautiful. And you can tell, you know, Charles and Ocean, if you know them at all in the community, you know how much they really love each other and how beautiful their life is with their baby girl Pearl, and what, you know, their union represents for the world is so beautiful. It's so symbolic. Everybody deserves their love of loves. Everybody deserves their perfect life of love.
Yeah. And I think it really, you know, the whole experience was just teaching you how important it is and how loving and it is to have that community and that support. And, you know, we were talking with, you know, friends from the community, you know, hanging out afterwards and even during the reception about how just we all felt like family. We did a group hug there at the end, and it was just so healing and so loving. And
I had 2 dreams during the time in Sedona. That one was at like my aunt's house, and then one was at another aunt's house, and both involved like family healing. So that was a huge part of the trip for me. It was like healing into my perfect family and knowing that this community is really like my perfect family, and the love that is experienced and shared here it's unlike any other place. It's unlike anything I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, and I just continually felt, and I know some people felt like you know, anxiety at the beginning, you know, meeting people. I didn't really feel that this time. I maybe felt it a little bit in Toronto, but not so much here. It really, to me, felt like we all, and I said this during this weekend, it's just like I felt like we all just like stepped out from behind our computers and we were all just there the whole time. And it felt very natural to see everyone. It was a joy to see everyone, but it felt just very natural. It's like literally like seeing family, like having this like family reunion of just like this love has been here the whole time. This like it felt very natural and peaceful to have dinner with people and see each other out and about, and it was just wonderful.
And the final card I pulled, I knew this was going to come because I actually saw this card earlier, is compassion. And that's really what, you know, Jeff and Shaleia's teachings is all about. It's, you know, having enough compassion to share love with your brother and sister and share this work with the world. And just, you know, remember that you're not alone. You are loved, deeply loved, and you deserve your perfect life of love. That's really, you know, a huge takeaway for me of the workshop. Be compassionate with myself and others.
I guess what comes up for me there is just like we also did some stuff, you know, like we went on a hike and stuff like that, and
we went to the
heart chakra
vortex. There's all these vortices in Sedona, and one path that we took was like the Sugarloaf Trail,
and that's where the heart chakra
up to the heart chakra. And I just felt so healed. I was working on grounding and just healing my relationship with my body, as well as you were doing that too.
I went through a lot because before I started this work, I was like really into like fitness, and I was probably in the best shape like physically of my life, not so much spiritually, but physically I was in the best shape of my life. And when I took the spiritual path, like I kind of like I was focused on that for a while, and like it was very humbling to see like where I was like with my body and physically, and I had to take a lot more breaks, whereas like just a couple years ago I would have like that would have been nothing. And for me it was like having compassion with myself, like humbling myself, and like seeing like this is clearly the next piece for me of like claiming my foundation, and like, you know, it's not just the spiritual path, it's also like taking care of myself holistically, taking care of myself inside and out, and you know that, you know, that's included did a lot of heart healing, which was and a lot of like accepting, a lot of compassion for myself. And I was really proud of myself when I finally did make it.
Yeah.
And just like had a good release, sat there with God for a little bit, and it gave me like that motivation to keep going and
nice.
Keep up the momentum with this healing and take the next step.
Good, yeah. Well, that feels complete to me.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done some pretty good recapping for everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sure they're gonna come out with a video of it.
Yes, the
right?
recording will be available on the website. I don't know exactly when, but I highly encourage you all when it comes available to buy that or invest in that and see it for yourself, because it's really worth seeing the experience in the workshop, because you don't have to be there in person to experience the high levels of healing that you receive from it. Like, you can watch Toronto Talks to see that for yourself as well.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, catch the Church of Union service. It's on the Church of Union YouTube channel, and will soon be on the unionism.org website as well. And you can experience that sermon as well as the wedding of Charles and Ocean. That is also on the YouTube channel.
Beautiful. All right, thanks guys so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, bye guys.